Good day. I'm Lateesha with Soul Spread Wisdom. And tonight I just want to talk about Teyana Taylor's chart. She just recently announced that she wants out of her contract with Def Jam Records. And she said that she has not been supported, and she's been in the business for 10 years, really trying to make her career as an artist really jump off, and she has not had the support, she has not had the success that so many others who are less talented and who have come along more newly, and they are being supported and pushed up by the record label, and being supported by even outside people. And so, even though I want to look at this chart and just demonstrate how the planets herald or how they speak to what she's going through now, as far as not being able to receive the report, being able to receive the support of the record label, and the realization that she has come to right now, like what is happening in the sky and what is happening in her chart that signifies that this is something that she will be going through right now. So this year, as we know, first thing, Saturn has been transiting the sign of Capricorn for the last 3 years. So she has been going through a Saturn return because natally she has Saturn at 23 degrees of Capricorn. So Saturn right now is at 29 degrees. So this year, Saturn has gone directly over her Saturn. So she's had an exact return, and then Saturn is conjunct the north node of the moon. So, and right now in the sky, Pluto is at 23 degrees. Transiting Pluto is at 23 degrees of Capricorn, sitting on top of her natal Saturn. And it is conjunct her natal north node. So these planets, these big heavy players, Saturn and Pluto, have come along and caused her to look at the stark reality of the work, of the hard work that she has been putting in, and caused her to be truthful with herself about what is going on, about her ability to make progress as an artist. So Pluto wants us to go deep. Pluto brings very deep, a deep catharsis, within us, causing us to um, look at the stark, ugly truth. And it's painful, you know. This Pluto transiting over her natal Saturn brings what is real to the light. And she talked about different things that were going on in the industry. That is the hidden things. Pluto brings to the light the very hidden things that can be going on in a situation. And for her, being that Saturn is conjunct that North Node, um, the energies, the where she would be pressing the most and using her energy the most, and where she would have a hunger and a desire to be on the very peak, on the very top of the mountain, as the mountain goat. There is a strong desire and hunger to have that. But Saturn with the North Node, wherever the North Node is, and for those of you who want a book so you can check this out, you can read Judith Hill. She has a book on the nodes, which gives so much powerful information so that we can further understand it. It's not just about this is where the life is supposed to go, but the North Node is where we intake energy, where energy is soaked up into us, the natal north node, and even the transiting north node as well. Any planets that are there are going to soak up energies. And then the south node is going to release energies that are that have any planets. So the planets that are with the south node will cause a release of that energy, and then those planets that are with the north node, we soak up that type of energy. So she has Saturn sitting with the north node of the moon in the sign of Capricorn. So Saturn brings things more slowly. Saturn brings isolation. Saturn brings walls and blockages. Saturn brings uh, separation. That's the some of the key words for Saturn. So this is what she has soaked up as she has been trying to get to the very peak and the top of the mountain in her career. She has soaked up these blockages, and it's just there. It's just stark in the chart. And then Pluto, as Pluto transited and is transiting and is sitting right here today at 23 degrees, making its way to the 28 degrees where her north node is. She is soaking up this plutonian energy, this the energy of recognizing where you have been betrayed, where it has come to the light. So all of this is being soaked up, and then her frustration and the intensity associated with Pluto is being released and brought forth for everyone to hear. Where she even said, just release me from my contract. Please, just release me. I want to go on my own. So we have that. Then, so with the south node of the moon, where there is a releasing, she has Chiron here in the sign of Cancer. Again, we don't have the birth time, so we don't know what the ascendant is. We don't know any of that, but we can just look at the planets, see what is going on with the planets, and still be able to effectively read the chart and see what is going on in her life. So here we have Chiron. In Chiron, of course, is where we have been, where we received a wound of rejection. And so having Chiron with the south node of the moon, conjunct the south node of the moon, there is a releasing that happens. So as Jupiter and transiting Saturn are standing across the sky in Capricorn from her natal Chiron, it is connecting with them by way of opposition. And so the opposition has the nature of Saturn. So there is a release. The south node of the moon takes on the nature of Saturn as well. The north node, in and of itself, has the nature of Jupiter that expands things and makes them larger. And then the south node causes things to be smaller. So she said that she likes to help people. She wants to be there to help other people. So the South Node, um, in Vedic astrology, in Indian astrology, the South Node is celebrated because it is a place within our chart where we are able to release this hunger for material things and hunger for possessions, and be able to tap into spirit, able to connect with spirit and the things that are ethereal, and the blessings that come along with meditation and the sacrifice for someone else, as opposed to where the north node is, where is the head of the dragon just hungry for possessions and power. So as she was making that statement, I could hear that south node coming through, where she was ready to release the idea of being a public figure at the top of the mountain, being celebrated by everyone, but rather being behind the scenes and supporting people and helping them, nurturing them. There's that Cancer energy in the south node, and being able to use what she has learned in the industry to be able to support and nurture someone else. And that was that south node with the Chiron speaking up, because she has been able to receive insight as Saturn, as she has just come through her Saturn return, And Pluto is here, and Jupiter has been over this point too, expanding all of this understanding, all of this knowledge, and all of this wisdom. And so, what has been valuable to her before her Saturn return is no longer valuable to her. So, she has come with another level of insight and wisdom about what is most important. Another thing that we can see in her chart is that she was born with Mars retrograde in the sign of Gemini here at 0 degrees. So this Mars retrograde, wherever there is a retrograde, we understand from ancient astrology, ancient Hellenistic astrology, and of course ancient Egyptian astrology, that where there is a retrograde, things will be reversed. So you will often see reversals of gains, of tracks and trails that you've made and how you've pressed forward. Where Mars is retrograde, you will just continuously see reversals in your life. And so Gemini is this sign that would indicate her communication, her singing, her talent of speaking and singing, and that work that she put in. We can see reversals happening in her life for the efforts that she put forward. You know, the gains that she thought she had made, where she took two steps, she would take a step forward and then take two steps back. That's the energy of the Mars retrograde. And then the ruler of Gemini is Mercury, and it is sitting here in the sign of Capricorn with the North Node. And with the ancient astrologers, there was an understanding that it did not matter if it was close by degree. If it was in the same house, this planet is affecting the North Node. So this Mars retrograde in Gemini speaks to the efforts that she has spent with singing and putting her voice out there and doing her work, even doing all of the dancing. All of it has not yielded the fruit that she wanted, and that would be linked to this Mars retrograde in the natal chart. Okay, and then we have she has Jupiter retrograde as well. Jupiter is retrograde in the sign of Leo, and her sun is in the sign of Sagittarius. So Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, and where her sun is placed and Venus is placed. So Jupiter, same thing as we said about Mars. So where there was celebration and where it seemed that I would be able to, where she would be able to be celebrated, and the sun, her expression for the world to see, where it seemed like she would be able to just explode and become bigger and be seen more, be celebrated more, and have more opportunities. This Jupiter retrograde in the natal chart has affected this sun being able to be seen, and in the love, Venus, the love that she would have received, which is normally tied to this Venus Sun connection. She has not received what it is that she should have based on the work that she has put in. And that would have to do with this Jupiter retrograde and this Mars retrograde tied to her work. And she has begun to realize that Pluto, again, these transits have allowed her to see what is the truth of the matter. So for her, she also has the moon in the sign of Libra. So this part of her that wants to support and help other people is absolutely tied to this moon. So I don't have the birth times, but her moon would definitely be in the sign of Libra because it would be either 6 degrees before or 6 degrees after. So it would have been no less than a 1 degree moon on this particular day, December 10th, 1990. And it would go even 6 degrees more, up to 13 degrees in the sign of Libra on that day. So we have Teyana Taylor here has an emotional nature that wants to work with other people, wants to be the the peace bringer, and wants to be the person who would try to make everyone else happy. Oftentimes, that's what happens with the planets, personal planets in Libra, that they would sacrifice themselves so that they could make others happy. And she went on to say that um, all of the other singers and people, artists, they have stylists and they have makeup artists, but she has agreed to not even have that. There's a moon in Libra. She does her own makeup and she styles herself, just for the sake of peace. So she doesn't want to have the argument with anyone, but there's that part of her that would sacrifice what is due to her so that the people around her would not be upset. And we could hear that coming through. We can hear that coming through in her interview about why she is taking a step back from music, and is going to put her efforts towards helping other people do what they need to do in the industry. So, and then Venus, of course, is the ruler of this moon, and Venus is here in Sagittarius, giving her this love for travel, giving her a love for working with other people, and then, of course, eventually it'll be about higher knowledge and this sort of thing. And so that's all that I had to share. I just wanted to share that really quickly about Teyana Taylor. I thought it was really interesting. And then I also wanted to just present it as a way for you to see how you can read the charts very well without having the birth time. And we can work out a lot of details about the life. If you are interested in a personal reading with me, I do offer that. You can go to soulsbredwisdom.com and book a reading with me. I would love it. Love to talk to you. Love to work out some of the key things in your chart, in your life. And please like, subscribe, and share, and leave a comment. Let's talk about it. I love to chit chat and talk with any of you in the comments. We learn so much from each other. That's what this is all about. And I say to you, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe O, Yud He Vav He.